we'll have to start from square one. Or should I say, circle
Oh my
one.
god! What is that?
I am going to be showing you guys how I studied facial anatomy so that you guys can stop having chicken scratch as your art. Now, you're probably asking, why does a seasoned artist like myself has to relearn to draw? It started with me planning a tutorial video, only to realize I can't teach you how to draw because I never learned the proper way. I know the video feels fast-paced, but I will be showing you a step-by-step process later on.
Not only am I going to show you guys how I studied facial anatomy, I am also going to teach my brother how to draw faces, and if he doesn't significantly improve his non-existent artist skills, I'm going to have to eat this egg raw. But it has taken me over
4 to 6 weeks later
to learn, practice, and create an easy technique that any beginner artist can use. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more art-related content from me.
Of course, if you are a beginner, you'll need a pencil, eraser, and a piece of copy paper. As a beginner, you don't need anything fancy to get started. Now, all of you artists will need to practice productive procrastination. Since none of us have the muscle memory to draw from our own heads, we will need to collect a ton of references to help build our own knowledge library in our brains. If you don't know how to draw it, you will need to study it first. Of course, don't go blatantly copying other artists and claiming it as your own. Simply use references like the Just Sketch Me app or website to look at 3D models and draw them from every angle possible. That's what I like to do since it's not always easy finding the exact reference that I need. Now, not having learned a drawing method is the reason I'm relearning with you guys today. There are a bunch of different drawing methods, but the three main that I've seen is the draw and repeat. This is what I currently do as I never learned any method. While it works, it has taken decades to master. The other method that I saw was the Riley method, but honestly, it looks so complicated my brain will implode. Like, why do you need all of this simply to make a head? And lastly, the method I chose to study is the Loomis method. I like that the method is like a math problem. You plug the lines into the formula and you always get the right answer. You need to understand that I've been spending the last 2 to 3 weeks relearning and practicing this method behind the video. Here is what my first page looked like versus where my last page ended like. You won't become an artist overnight. I know I didn't. I spent years and years practicing and bettering with each drawing I did, and so will you. People aren't naturally gifted. You'll need to put in the work if you want to get better. So let's go ahead, slow down a bit, and jump into the step-by-step tutorial I promised. That's right, it's a real drawing tutorial. Don't be afraid to hit that pause button between steps if you need more time. Now, according to the Loomis method, every head starts with a circle. I know, that's tough for a lot of you, but I learned how to draw a circle by utilizing my shoulder, elbow, and arm. Naturally, these move in circular motions, so if you're trying to use your fingers and wrists to create that circle, it will always look wonky and terrible. Learn to use your whole arm to draw and not just your wrist. You don't want to go ruining your art career with carpal tunnel. But now that we got the hard part out of the way, we are going to add another smaller circle to act as the flat side of the head where the jaw and ear connects. Since we are drawing a 3/4 view in a natural position, we will draw a cross in that smaller circle like this. Next, we will add a vertical center line to create the midline of the face. That horizontal line on the smaller circle will extend out to create the guide for the eyebrow bone. Next, the bottom of the circle will extend to create the horizontal nose guideline. And as you can see here, we have the first 2/3 of the face. Simply create an even third on the bottom of the nose line to create the chin guideline. This is what Loomis calls the rules of thirds. The forehead, eyes, nose, and chin areas should all be equal to each other. Of course, later on, you can play with these dimensions to create more unique characters, but this is just the base. Now, we will just connect the lines to draw a simple C-shaped ear, and then we have the head done.
Clearly, we want to finish the face, so let's move on to the eyes, nose, and mouth. The eyes are broken down into one shape and 4 to 5 lines. It sounds simple because it is. First, you draw 2 even circles to represent the eyeballs, and then add 2 smaller circles to represent the iris. Don't forget the head and face is a 3-dimensional object. The lids will wrap around the eyeball. Depending on the angle, the top lid will be drawn with 2 to 3 lines, and the bottom lid will be made with up to 2 lines. This creates the basic eyeball formula. Add some lashes and details, and you're done. Now for the nose. This one looks the most complicated, but in reality, it's really simple. It's 2 shapes and some shading. I draw a triangle, and I'll connect a trapezoid on the bottom. This will give me the rough 3-dimensional version, and and then I'll add 2 lines for the nostrils. This is where the nose can feel complicated because of the shading, but I'll shade the underside of the nose and around the crease of the nostrils and bridge. The best way to think of it is to break down the shading into the highlights, the midtones, and the shadows. This is the formula to drawing any nose. Now the mouth is probably the hardest for me. I've broken it down into 4 shapes and some shading/shaping. Once I've decided on the size and shape of the lips, I draw the 4 oval shapes like so, and then it comes down to what the mouth will be doing. A neutral mouth will be the easiest, as I will simply draw the crease of the lips and then I'll shade in the 4 shapes. The upper lip will always be darker while the lower lip will be lighter, and then the crease of the mouth will always be shaded the darkest. And then you add some highlight and you're done. But you might be asking, what if the mouth is open, smiling, or puckering? These shapes will simply stretch or squash with the mouth. Also, the teeth should be viewed as an entire shape and not as individual shapes. You can define the bottom of the overall teeth shape, and if the gums are visible, you can add some definition there, but that's all you're gonna need. Otherwise, they will look like this, which will give people who see your art nightmares. Now that you have the base formulas for drawing heads and you've watched me transform my wonky art into professional art, you can take this guide and build up your own facial anatomy library, and it'll feel great when you look at your art and you're proud of it. And my next art study fair will be the human body anatomy. Make sure you like this video so I know you guys want to see me create that, and subscribe to be notified when it comes out. Now it's time for the main event. Did my brother's art significantly improve, or will I be eating this raw egg? Continue watching to find out. I feel like I should get a shot of you holding these.
Nah, that's not happening. I'm not getting it.
You don't want to show your face after them seeing the art. So this is the after. Are you guys ready to see his before? This is the difference between you drawing with no prior knowledge of how a head is functioned and shaped versus after. Do you feel like you improved, or am I going to be eating an egg raw?
I mean, I did improve, but this is clear.
Hey, you know what, guys? I'm not eating an egg. I successfully completed the challenge, and he said I wasn't going to do it.
You got
He
lucky.
said you weren't going to improve.
You got lucky.